Scream Factory gives the VIP treatment to the Camp Crystal Lake Killer. This is your look at the brand new Scream Factory Friday the 13th Collection Deluxe Edition. Sadly, a bit late getting this one, a bit of an interesting story behind this. As with all the other Scream Factory releases, I get those emails that I'm sure a lot of you guys get to let you know that the pre-order for these will be going up. Well, sure enough, I went over to their Scream Factory website like I do with every other time that I've pre-ordered something, and I put it into my cart. And then I thought I had already purchased the sets. Well, everybody else was receiving their deluxe sets, and still mine was nowhere to be found. It still had not shown up. Then one day I decided to go back to Scream Factory's website, only to find still the deluxe edition of Friday the 13th set still sitting in my shopping cart. I must have put it in my cart, then was quickly distracted by something else, thought I'd already checked it out, and sure enough I didn't. Make a long story short, I'm sure. What I did end up not getting, though, was the Friday the 13th set that also came with the very large poster. And part of me is a little disappointed the fact I didn't get that poster because it really is some fantastic artwork. But then I think to myself, where am I going to put that anyways? I would love to have framed it and put it somewhere, but I really don't have the space for it anyways. So at the end of the day, I just ended up ordering this from Amazon, and it finally arrived. And yes, I am a little later to the game of having a look at this, but I did want to do an unboxing. Everything is still wrapped up, still pristine inside its plastic prison. We're going to open it up, and we're going to have a little bit of fun, I hope, to talk about our love for the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, Scream Factory has done a similar treatment to Halloween. I don't feel to this grand layout the way that they've done it with Friday the 13th, but we did get all the Halloween movies all boxed up together, and it's nice to see us finally getting that all together here with the Friday the 13th. Now I'm going to move this over before, of course, we talk a little more shop about the new box set. Of course, I am an avid collector of Friday the 13th films, and as I bring some onto the camera here, initially my way of collecting Friday the 13th were these lenticular covered cases. I'm sure everybody has seen these right now. You probably already have some of these in your collection, or maybe you've sold these. You maybe have even seen these at flea markets. These are still things I think I'm going to hold on to. In fact, the completionist in me, I'd only collected a few of these, and then I felt so compelled to get the rest of these that I started sourcing them out wherever I could find them, checking local Best Buys, checking online, checking eBay. I think where I got a couple of these, and they're sort of fun. Obviously, I'm still somebody that's going to be collecting the Blu-ray format. But there are still some DVDs that I'd like to keep in my collection, these ones being one of them. These ones are fun. They're not the most accurate, no, because of course you see there's Roy's mask with the side chevrons. That doesn't make any sense for Friday the 13th Part 8. But I've got all of them. There's Friday the 13th Part 8. We're going to quickly go through these. Friday the 13th Part 7. I love these. Friday the 13th Part 6. Yeah, there's the mask in the background. Again, I want to just bring your attention to this. This is Jason Lives, but again, they're still continuing to use the Roy. They've used Roy also on this cover. Did anybody ever notice that? Weird, eh? They seem to use Roy for almost all of these covers, at least the later ones. Roy's mask in the background. Roy's mask being worn by Jason Voorhees, who actually looks like he's wearing a jacket. I don't know what's going on with these, but I still held on to them. There's true Roy in The New Beginning, Part 5. Part 4, again, Roy's mask. That's not even the right mask. Why? I don't know what they're doing here. This one, obviously, is not so much the issue because it's just 3D. This one is Part 2. I still got the label actually on this. Picked this up at Walmart for $12.99. And then, of course, we've got the original Friday the 13th Uncut. Now, they only released 8 of these, so obviously I would still have to go about picking up the remainder of them. And funny enough, for this review, I have all of them, it seems, except for one that I really wanted to talk about the most, and that's Jason Goes to Hell, which I know I have. It's just I kept it on my library. I've also got Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, the original DVDs, and then got the Blu-ray release of the remake. So that's sort of the first way I think I was starting to collect the Friday the 13th movies. Now that I actually think about it, I think the first time I started picking up the movies in DVD format was the Friday the 13th, From Crystal Lake to Manhattan, the Ultimate Edition DVD collection, which again, many of you probably already have in your collection, have had at some point, passed it on to the next collector and bearer of these so that you could collect the newest release. Well, I still have these. This goes all the way up to Friday the 13th Part 8. Of course, omitted from this are the New Line released Friday the 13th movies. So basically from Jason Goes to Hell onward, none of them are in here. It's just the original releases. And these are still fine. I still keep this in my collection. I like the case cover. Again, sort of like the side chevrons. I don't really know what's going on there. This is just like a mixture of, almost like a mixture of the Part 6 mask and I guess a mixture of the Part 8 mask, the way that those chevrons are placed. Anyways, we'll put that right over there. Another way that I had actually picked up the set, and this one actually was one that I had kept in my collection for the longest of times, and I probably won't even really get rid of it, is the 12 Films of Terror, the Friday the 13th Complete Collection. This was an interesting set because up to the release of the Scream Factory box set, this was a definitive set to get because it came with all 12 films, all the way up to the remake, Friday the 13th remake. Now, also this set, I don't know if it's still the case, but this set is actually still quite expensive. If you were to find this set, probably now it's started to diminish a little bit because now people are picking up this box set. But like this set, I think goes for about $200 to $300. It's all tin. It's a nice tin case, and inside, I know we're sort of deviating away from looking at the Scream Factory release. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a second. But we got like a little elasticized band here. So I told the others, they didn't believe me. You're all doomed. We'll take that right off. And inside, you've got the individual movies. There's, of course, Part 1, Part 2, so on and so forth. I really never liked this format. Sure, it's nice and convenient to have everything inside of a book like this. The downside, though, is I hate when it comes to Blu-rays and DVD releases, why they feel the need to slide them inside the side of these sleeves. They're never the easiest to get out, and what you always end up doing is you have to put your finger on both sides to pull the actual DVD out, or in this case, the Blu-ray. And what ends up always happening, you know how it goes, you end up getting your fingerprints. I almost even just dropped this one. You get your fingerprints all over the side, and nobody wants that. So this is certainly a good set in the sense that it does have everything that you need. Very carefully slide that back into place. As I said, if you go right to the very end of it, you even get a killer bonus disc. Goes all the way up to the remake of Friday the 13th. This one also came with the Crystal Lake Memories, which is a nice little miniaturized version of the larger hardcover book that was released not too long ago. This one also came included with a Camp Crystal Lake Counselor patch, a couple of 3D glasses for Friday the 13th Part 3, and also a ultraviolet DVD complete collection, which I'm sure, the deadline doesn't even matter. I could show you guys now. The deadline long since has passed. This passed September 13th, 2015. I never used these. Never used these at all. So there was that release also as well. Again, the only thing really left from this mix is the Jason Goes to Hell set, which again is something I'm going to be talking about because I think one of the big issues with the Scream Factory release, as I'm putting this back into the case, is that I had heard that among of the other issues that plagued this set, let's just slide everything over here. I think one of the biggest issues was, I think Jason Goes to Hell is the regular theatrical cut. It's not the director's cut. Or it's the director's cut, but it doesn't have the additional features that they had promised. That being said, a whole bunch of talking and several minutes inward. These are all where we started from. Let's get a closer look at the Scream Factory release. Now, I have even opened this up. I figured I would do an unboxing, or in this case, an unwrapping in this video, and we'd get a closer look. Now, obviously, since the time has gone that this set has come out, there has been issues. Many people have complained that there have been notable scratches on the surface of the discs. In some cases, duplicate discs have been packed inside. So sort of me opening this, I don't even know what to expect. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, there's going to be nothing really wrong with the discs themselves, but the only way, of course, we'll find out is we're going to have to open this, free it from its plastic prison. And honestly, this is the first time I'm going to be doing this, so you guys all get to watch. Very carefully cutting the plastic onto the front. The first thing I did inspect, I did do a little checking on my part, is I did want to see, first of all, if I got all different discs. Because I did see some images online people had posted where they literally had gotten, I think it was Part 3, couple people posted that they actually got multiple part 3s inside their case. So this was the first thing I did check. We can see there's Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3D, Final Chapter, New Beginning, Jason Lives, The New Blood, Jason Takes Manhattan, The Final Friday, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, Friday the 13th, the remake, and the collection bonus material. I'm going to be interested to see what the bonus material entails, whether it will include His Name Was Jason, as well as the Camp Crystal Lake Memories, which, if you have not seen the Camp Crystal Lake Memories, do yourself a service and do watch that. It's a fantastic film that pairs very well with Never Sleep Again, another fantastic horror documentary. I just want to show you the artwork here on the side, drawn by artist Devin. You can see the various different Jasons. This is the later Jason, so of course we have Part 7 Jason up the top corner there. We have Freddy vs. Jason with the notable scratches on his mask. Jason Goes to Hell Jason, which I still always love the design of him. And the remake Jason with the long hair. This side, we can go, actually, you know what, I always take these off. There's a little bit of, there's a little bit of glue that I think I'm going to have to peel off. Let's just see. I want to get this off first. Peel that off. Get off the, oh no, get that glue off without making too much of a mess. That glue seemed to have stuck to the side of my cardboard. Well, that may be the worst of the batch. That may be the worst of things that could happen with this set. I hopefully have not jinxed myself by saying that. But anyways, at the beginning, though, we have early Jason right down there, splashing out from the water at the very end of Part 1. The head, of course, of Pamela Voorhees. Part 2, Sack Jason. What else we have here? Part 3 Jason. Part 4 Jason. I don't know. Is that Part 4? I think that's Part 4 Jason still. Part 3 Jason probably at the top. Part 4 Jason. We got Part 5, of course, notably Roy. Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason Lives. Interestingly enough, they have him without his mask. And Part 7 Jason up at the top there. I really must say, like, the artwork is just stellar on this. So if you had picked this one up from Scream Factory, essentially what you would have been getting, you got something else as well, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but essentially starting here, see, right here, and if you follow your eyes from here, look at the artwork all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, right to here. So take that image now that you've stored in your memory banks and fold it open. That's essentially the poster. That's the big poster that you would have also gotten with the Scream Factory release. Again, I think to myself, yeah, that's nice artwork. That would be great to put up. But then I think I don't have the space for it. So just ultimately, I left it as is. One thing that's rather interesting, though, is the lightning that's coming down from Jason to, of course, resurrect him down below is forming the letter 5. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that is seeing that right now. Anyways, that's what the set looks like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out like sort of each one of these. I do want to check these for scratches, see if there's any, hopefully no damage to the discs themselves. And of course, we'll talk about the individual features on each of the individual movies that are inside this box set. Obviously, going in proper sequence, we're going to start with the first film. I don't think I've ever done this before, where I've actually opened something up on camera and inspected this. And this could go really, really well, or this could go really, really bad. Anyways, we got Friday the 13th Part 1, the original. It didn't even need a Part 1 at that point. On the back, special features. I'm not going to read the read-up because obviously you guys don't want to see, you don't need the read-up for every single one of these. Special features for this include a new 4K scan of the original camera negative. That's good. Both the uncut version and a theatrical rated R version. Now, I did have the original director's uncut version on that lenticular cover that we looked at. I don't think this one does change at all. I've also heard that some people have had issues with audio. I think it was in Friday 13th 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. We also have audio commentary with the director Sean S. Cunningham, a screenwriter Victor Miller, who I think is responsible for this whole legal issue right now we're going through. Author Peter Brack, and more for the uncut version. Fresh cuts, the new tales from Friday 13th. The man behind the legacy, Sean S. Cunningham. Theatrical trailer, TV spot, radio spots, still gallery. The runtime for this is, let's see here. The runtime is approximately 94 minutes. I guess it's depending on whether you use the regular release or the regular version, or you check out the uncut version. Now, obviously, you're going to want to check the discs inside. The neat thing, again, about these, and I usually do this with a lot of my Scream Factory releases, is that you see the original cover, or this is the cover that they packaged it with. However, you can't flip it around, and you have like this kind of cool looking artwork, which is like a original poster advertisement. Now again, Scream Factory does this with a lot of their releases, and that's the thing I really like about them, especially when they come with the slip covers. Usually what I'll do is I'll keep the slip covers obviously over top of the movies, but then I'll usually flip these around, so I sort of have like the original styling of artwork, and I might even just do that when it comes to these releases. You know what, I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Slide that back into place. No promsies, by the way, that this may be a very long video. So hopefully fans of Friday the 13th will want to check this out. So, okay, so we're going to check the first disc. Let's push down the figure here. Let's hope for the best. I don't see any scratches on that. That's good. I'll quickly zip through this. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of discs to go through. Disc 2 seems also okay. All right. Whew. That's disc 1. Again, look at that. Woo! It's so cool. I love this. I just love the fact that Scream Factory reverses, gives you the option to look at the cases in 2 different ways. Next one we have is Friday the 13th Part 2. Special features include a new 4K scan from the original camera negative. Again, that's good. Sometimes 4K transfers, or when they try to pull it from the negatives, don't always work. Notably, I remember Silent Night, Deadly Night. The director's cut put in footage, and the best they had to work with was really bad decayed negatives. The resulting in that is that you can really pinpoint points in that movie where it's really noticeably rough. It's very hard to watch. Anyways, we have the 4K scan of the original camera negative inside Crystal Lake Memories, the book. Friday's Legacy, the horror conventions, podcast interview with Amy Steele, theatrical trailer, TV spots, radio spots, still gallery. And the inside case, I just want to see if it's it's a little bit different. See, that's got the outline of the human. That's got just Friday the 13th. You know what? I'm gonna follow suit here. Just flip that around. I like that. And again, we'll just check quickly the disc. This only has 1 disc this time. Pop that out. Okay, no scratches. We're 2 for 2. Still a lot of way to go. Still a long way to go, but we're so far 2 for 2. Now on to part 3. A personal favorite of mine and a personal favorite of many. There's the cover there. The back features, again, a new 4K scan of the original film negative and a new 3D transfer. That has me really interested. I'm definitely going to be wanting to check that out. Audio commentary with actors Larry Zerner, who is actually a lawyer in real life, Paul Kratka, Richard Brooker, and Dana Kimmel. Fresh cut 3D terror, Legacy of the Mask, theatrical trailer, TV spots, still gallery. I do also like the fact that they did include special features on some of the movies. I personally like to be able to watch the film, and then immediately after the film, I like to be able to go and just watch something that's on there as well. Even if it's a trailer, I generally will watch the trailer. I prefer, if anything, it usually has something else on there, so I don't have to go back downstairs to pull the disc that literally has all the features. I like the fact that the features are still packed with each of the individual discs. Speaking of individual discs, here's what the original cover looked like. Okay. The guy crashing through the shower, or there's also this route as well. And again, I'm going to follow suit. I'm going to flip that around. You may prefer to have it the other way, but I kind of like that because you don't see that too often. I mean, so many times I've seen that cover. I've seen that cover everywhere, but you don't see that very often. That's probably why I'm going to stick with that. Okay, let's check the discs on 3D. It's a little bit harder when I'm holding this in the air. Let's just push this down. There we go. Disc 3 seems okay. No visible scratches or anything. Now I just want to stress this too. That may not be on every single disc. I'm just only going by what people have said online. Some of the complaints that this box set has collected along the ways. There's been some negative complaints about this, and there's also been positive complaints. So I hope this video sort of serves to you guys, sort of your then understanding of whether this set's worth picking up for yourself, or if it's something that you're just willing to pass on and keep those original lenticular covers, or keep like the original tin case that we had gotten. Friday the 13th Part 4, another favorite of mine. This one features a 4K scan from the original camera negative, audio commentary by director Joseph Zito, screenwriter Barry Cohen, and editor Joel Goodman. Fan audio commentary by filmmakers Adam Green and Joe Lynch. Slasher scenes with audio commentary by Joseph Zito. Jason's Unlucky Day, 25 years after Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The Lost Ending. What? There's a Lost Ending. Theatrical trailer, still gallery, and more. I'm skipping the part where I'm mentioning the running time. If you're curious, 91 minutes on this one. This is what the original cover looks like. Obviously, they've got the correct mask. I'm talking to you again, lenticular covered case. But let's just go ahead and flip this around to show you what the other side looks like. Again, like that's the old promotional poster work, so I really like that. 3 times before you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror, but this is the one you've been screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Notably as well, if you look at the spines are a little bit different. Friday the 13th, final chapter on one side. This one does have, I think it does look a little bit different, doesn't it? Oh, maybe this one looks the exact same. Disregard. Slide that into place. Close up the case. And while we're also at it, let's go ahead and check the CD, check the Blu-ray. Doesn't seem to have any visible scratches. Somebody had also mentioned, actually a couple of people had mentioned too, fingerprints seemed an issue. So far, I'm check for check. I'm good and good. No scratches, no fingerprints. Moving on to one of my personal favorites, Friday the 13th Part 5, but they already have a different cover here on this. Or it's maybe just the fact that I'm so used to seeing the covers on the other cases, where this particular poster always gets distorted. They always give you like the Roy mask and all that sort of stuff. Really some stellar artwork that they've, I think, have come out for. Trying to think of the name of the company. It's a t-shirt company. I can't remember the name of the company. There's a name of the company that actually does a whole bunch of really cool t-shirts, and they bring in artists that do their styling of art for those movies. I really think that the Scream Factory should enlist some of the talent to get those guys on board and do some of the artwork for these cases. Anyways, there is Friday the 13th Part 5. This one happens to be, for the special features, new audio commentary with actors Melanie Kinnaman, Deborah Voorhees, Tiffany Helm, audio commentary by director's co-screenwriter Danny Steinman, and actors John Shepard and Shaver Ross. Fan audio commentary with filmmakers Adam Green and Joe Lynch. The New Beginnings, The Making of Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Lost Tales from Camp Blood Part 5. The Crystal Lake Massacres Revisited Part 2. Theatrical trailer and still gallery. All he wanted to do was share his chocolate bar. Flip that around, and again, here's what the case looks like default. Flip this around, and this is what the other case cover looks like. We're going to flip that around. Just like so. She was in a movie I just recently watched, even though the movie wasn't recent. I just watched a movie that she was in. Oh, I know what it was. She was in Slumber Party Massacre 2. Such a classic movie. I love that movie. This one, it says, still, if Jason still haunts you, you're not alone. And inside, checking out the CD for inspection purposes. I don't see any damage with the CD. Everything looks good. Now, even though technically I'm looking at all the actual surfaces of these CDs and Blu-rays, technically it still means I could have issues watching these. And I'll keep you guys posted. You guys can certainly follow me over on Instagram or Twitter, where I frequently post what I'm going to be watching that night and what my thoughts are of those films. And I'll definitely let you guys know as I'm going through these if I'm having any noticeable issues or experiences in a bad way when watching any one of these movies. Next one we have, and my personal favorite. I change my mind a lot when it comes to the Friday the 13th films. Sometimes I've always been a big fan when I was younger of Part 7. I don't really like 7 as much now. The acting is pretty weak. The gore has certainly been trimmed severely. But I always seem to sort of circle around Friday the 13th Part 6. And now I sort of have landed on Part 6 as my personal favorite. This one on the back features a new audio commentary with actors C.J. Graham, which I still think is my definitive Tommy. I would have, of course, always thought Corey Feldman, but Corey Feldman was younger. I used to really like the Part 5 Tommy, but I think now I've warmed up to the idea that Tommy is from Part 6. That is the definitive Tommy. Let me know down below who you think is your definitive Tommy. This one does feature new audio commentary with actors C.J. Graham, a really good Jason Voorhees, by the way, Tom Matthews, who plays Tommy, Vincent Gustafaro, Carrie Noonan, and Cynthia Cania. Audio commentary with writer-director Tom McLaughlin. Audio commentary with by Tom McLaughlin, Vincent, again, Gustafaro. I don't know if I pronounced that name correctly. And editor Bruce Green. Fan audio commentary with filmmakers Adam Green and Joe Lynch. Jason Lives, The Making of Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives, Lost Tales from Camp Blood, Part 6. The Crystal Lake Massacres Revisited, Part 3. Meeting Mr. Voorhees, slashed scenes, theatrical trailer, and still gallery. I don't know if some of these follow the same features as the one that came included with that tin set release. Again, as I'm sort of going through each one of these films, you can follow me over on Twitter and you can follow me over on Instagram, and I'll sort of weigh in each one of the movies as I'm going across them. So again, like, this is what the original case cover art looked like. And, okay, all right. I think this might be the one time I keep it as is. I mean, I like the look of that Jason, but that's pretty weak. I'd like to keep, I'd like to have some consistency with case artwork. And let's just quickly check the disc. No fingerprints, no scratches. And the ceiling of my review area. So there's Friday the 13th Part 6. We can put that right down there. And let's move on over to the New Blood. And while, by the way, I'm doing this, let me know down below, how would you rank your Friday the 13th movies? It doesn't have to be all of them, but maybe what would you say is your top, let's just say top 3 or top 4 Friday the 13th. I think right now I would say it's probably like 6, 5, 4, 3. No, I'm not counting down to a rocket liftoff. I actually probably would put them as 6, 5, 4, 3 as my top 4 Friday the 13th. The next one we have is Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, a personal favorite of mine in high school. But again, like it's good as you change and get older, your taste in films and maybe what you look for may change also as well. I like the special effects and the elements of having telekinesis Tina in here. But again, like, the movie overall is pretty weak, and the actors aren't very good either in it as well. Some of the acting, some of the worst I find in Part 7 and Part 8. Special features for Part 7 is audio commentary by director John Carl Bockler, who also was the designer of Part 7's mask, and also was the designer of Part 6, Halloween, Part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers mask as well. I think we did lose John Buckler, so of course, a miss will be missed, of course, in the horror community. Actor Kane Hodder, who many people would certainly peg as their definitive Jason. Audio commentary by John Carl Buckler and actors Lar Park Lincoln and Kane Hodder. Again, if I mispronounce any of those names, I certainly apologize. Jason's Destroyer, The Making Friday the 13th Part 7, which again, I don't know if those are actually being pulled from the Crystal Lake memories. But it's nice if it is, and even if they're not new features, doesn't bother me at all. We have slashed scenes. Like, Jason's Destroyer sounds like one of the chapters from, of course, the Crystal Lake Memories. So I think what they've done is they probably have plucked it and put them for each of the films. If you guys have seen any of these releases by Scream Factory, let me know if that is the case. Makeover by Maddie. Need a little touch-up work. Of course, apostrophe. Theatrical trailer and still gallery. All right, let's have a look at the case artwork inside. Again, Scream Factory. And I guess the problem really is that when these movies were coming out by this point, there wasn't alternate posters or production artwork that they used. They generally used this poster. So I guess when it came time to alternates, I mean, you really don't get anything alternate other than like this Jason, which is, of course, when she answers the door, yeah, that big axe right into the head. Let's quickly inspect the disc again. Okay, everything's so far so good. Again, I don't know if it actually will be different when the time comes to be playing this on the screen on my TV. I don't know if I'm going to have any issues at all, but so far, at least structurally, everything seems to be intact. Next, we have Jason, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. I sort of hope on the inside that they're using that poster that ended up being removed and banned because he was sort of slicing through that I Love New York poster. I kind of hope that's going to be on the inside. But Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. A disappointing movie for me and many horror fans. I mean, he's taking over Manhattan, but very little of it is Manhattan. They should have said Jason takes over a boat. The Big Apple's in big trouble. Actually, I was reading the read-up. We'll skip through that. Audio commentary for special features with director Rob Headon. Audio commentary with actors Scott Reeves, Jensen Daggett, and Kane Hodder. We also have New York Has a New Problem, the making of Friday the 13th Part 8, which again I think is coming from the Crystal Lake Memories. We have slashed scenes, gag reel, theatrical trailer, still gallery. That being said, come on. Again, this would have been a prime opportunity. I feel that they could have had the slashed through poster with Jason's head sticking up at the top corner. They didn't do that. Instead, we sort of just get a still from the movie, which is fine. I mean, if that's the interior artwork that you want to use for the case, that's good. If you are like myself, who would have enjoyed the fact of being able to switch this around, I can't do that. And just in case you're curious, no scratches, no fingerprints. We're okay. I don't want to even dare say I've lucked out so far, because that could ultimately then jinx me for the rest of the cases. But it seems so far so good. Maybe what the problems were that were circulating the interweb with people getting bad discs, scratch discs, and fingerprints on discs, maybe it was just a small batch and didn't affect everybody's that got released. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the next one. And this, I think, caused a little bit of controversy, because I believe this Jason Goes to Hell isn't the true uncut that everybody thought we were going to be getting. This is a personal favorite of mine. A lot of people are like, why would you like Jason Goes to Hell? I love Jason That Goes to Hell. I would put that one in any day and watch that. It's completely different, yes, than other the Friday the 13th that we have gotten, but there's something charming about it. Sort of the same way as Friday the 13th Part 5 isn't really Jason. How Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, isn't really a true Halloween, and it goes really distorted paths. Sort of like the same reasoning why I like Jason Goes to Hell. It's just different. It's just different. Different isn't necessarily a bad thing. On the back, okay, so we've got both unrated and theatrical versions. Now, I wish I actually had this with me, my other DVD release has the unrated and also has the theatrical versions, but apparently there is other footage that was supposed to make this disc, correct me if I'm wrong, that has been left off. And I think that was the issue that people had with this, that it wasn't that true director's cut that we were supposed to be getting. We only got the unrated and we only got the theatrical versions, which again, even just the unrated alone is a gruesome movie. It has some real gruesome things, and it's smart on their part that they filmed that knowing that they were going to cut it, only to find it finally land itself to I think it came to the VHS release as the director's cut, the unrated director's cut. And then, of course, all the releases afterwards as a DVD release came out with the unrated cut. So this one does have the unrated, and it does have the theatrical. It also features new 2K scan of the interpositive. It also features new audio commentary with director Adam Marcus and author Peter Brack. I don't know where I pulled Michael from. Must have been still thinking of Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. New interviews with Adam Marcus and actor Kane Hodder. Additional TV footage with new optional audio commentary with Adam Marcus and Peter Brack. Audio commentary with Adam Marcus and screenwriter Dean Laurie. And also features as well a theatrical trailer. The runtime, by the way, so I'm just going to jump to this quickly. Theatrical release is 88 minutes. The unrated version that has that slicing banana peel scene, you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie, is 91 minutes. So it's a few extra minutes of gore. Opening up the case. This one does have a flip around. Here's what the regular cover looks like. This is what the other cover looks like. So it's basically, let's just see here. Evil has finally found a home. It looks the same. Jason goes to hell and he's not coming back. So like this seems like the promotional poster. Obviously it's not listing the movie. This may have actually been early advertising of the movie. And of course then they put Jason Goes to Hell there. But this looks like this is just like a teaser poster. Well, I'm in this case going to keep it the OG. Just because obviously I like to have my movies with titles on them. So I'm going to keep that back in the case as is. And then we have two versions. We have the Final Friday theatrical version, and we have the unrated version. This would be the one I'm going to go to. Opening up and looking at the discs quickly. Seems no scratches on that one. And we're going to pop this one out. And we're going to just check the disc. Again, doesn't seem like any fingerprints. Now, I really don't understand the whole fingerprint issue. Obviously, people were talking about the fact that their discs had real noticeable fingerprints. None of these discs actually have fingerprints that I've had and seen so far. If there are any fingerprints, they're my own fingerprints. I guess when they take them off the assembly line, they're probably putting them in with their fingers. But if they're putting them in with the label side up, I don't understand why there's so many fingerprints on the undersides of the discs. Many people have really shown images, shown pictures that they've taken of their own sets, and there's a lot of fingerprints all over that. It seems a little sketchy to me. I don't know. Let's have a look at Jason X. Certainly hope you guys are enjoying this slightly longer video. The next one is Jason X, and my least favorite of the Friday the 13th franchise. I despise this movie. It has potential. That's what I will say. I like the premise. I like the idea that it's taking place in space, and the idea that Jason's being turned into an Uber Jason at the end of the movie all sounds promising. The problem with the movie, for me at least, is the fact that the budget isn't big enough. It feels like a direct to VHS release, and it feels like the budget, I think the case was with Jason X was it came out at the wrong time. If it had came out years later and not sort of working off of the success of Scream, which is really one of the things that the people had commented on. The problem with Jason X was they were trying to write it like a Scream in space. Doesn't quite work as well when I feel it comes to Jason Voorhees. Anyways, though, you have the half and half, the regular Jason. One of the worst designs of Jason, if you also ask me as well. Not only is the mask atrocious, but the fact that you can see a human eye. I just hate that. I love you, Uber Jason, though, and I really would have loved to see a Jason X2. Or would that be Jason X Square? Anyways, before we look at the back, before we look at the inside, special features include new interviews with producer Sean S. Cunningham and Noel Cunningham, actors Kane Hodder and Krista Angus, audio commentary with director Jim Isaac, writer Todd Farmer, and Noel Cunningham. The Many Lives of Jason Voorhees, a documentary on the history of Jason, By Any Means Necessary, the making of Jason X. Again, I feel that's being pulled from the Camp Crystal Lake. Just in case, by the way, you guys are curious what I'm talking about here. A definitive, there it is right there, my copy of the Crystal Lake Memories, the complete history of Friday the 13th, which I don't actually think it does tell me. It's quite the meaty set, but I don't think it actually tells me the names of the chapters. I would have to open this up and check for myself. A definitive, though, pick this up if you don't have it already. But I think a lot of what you're seeing in this set release is also making the appearances in special features here as well. Also includes a theatrical trailer. Let's just open up the case inside. And let's just have a look at what's different in the case. So this is what the outside poster work would look like, the case artwork. Flip this around, and we have this. Again, Evil gets an upgrade, Evil gets an upgrade. Doesn't look like there's anything that's different between the two. Oh, one thing that is different. That has me now curious. I wouldn't change any one of these, but I will change this one. Look at this one. Obviously, it's the exact same on this. See, it's not that much different. It looks, well, it's a carbon copy. The only thing that's different, though, is the spine. You got Jason X done in red font, and here you got Jason X more like the artwork on the poster. So I'm going to go with this one instead. Slide that back into place. There we go. Yeah, I like the look of that much better. That's a much cooler looking font. And let's go ahead and quickly check the disc inside, make sure everything's untouched, undamaged, unscratched. Everything seems okay. So that is Jason X with a brand new spine on the outside. There we go. We're going to add that to the mix. Next, we're going to move on to Freddy vs. Jason. Not a bad movie. I find I like it more the more times I've seen it. When I first saw it in the theater, I thought it was just okay. It was, it was good. It was nice to see the two slasher icons fighting it out. And to the credits of the movie, they do reward the fans with a very lengthy battle at the end of the movie. Whether Freddy would actually survive, keeping in mind that his daughter made short work of him in Freddy's Dead when he was pulled into the real world, pretty sure Jason of his size and stature would have destroyed Freddy in the few seconds that they were fighting. Heck, even Jason running through the side of the house, that cabin, with Freddy being held onto. That would have been more than enough, I think, to rip him in half. I digress. Oh, by the way, speaking of this artwork, I hope it's the artwork where it's his mask being held by Freddy's glove. I don't know. It might just be a still. Special features include commentary by director Johnny Aroniyu, some would say responsible for miscasting. He says he wasn't responsible for miscasting Jason Voorhees. Everybody obviously wanted to see Kane Hodder come back for the role, and he didn't get cast for the role. Talk sort of just dropped off. Well, you can kind of see all of that in the Crystal Lake Memories. Very disappointed, though, that he didn't come back. But the commentary also includes Robert Englund, of course, Ken Kersinger, I always pronounce that incorrectly, which was the individual that played Jason. Jason just moved very stilt-like. Obviously had stilted shoes as well. That didn't help. But I think the idea was that they were trying to make him more like a Frankenstein's monster. And Jason is fine as a Frankenstein's monster, but he also needs to be able to move as well. And I don't know. I just think he moved a little too stiff for my liking. Deleted and alternate scenes, including the original opening and ending. Featurette gallery covering the film's development, art direction, makeup effects, stunt work, and more. Visual effects, exploration with the creative team, publicity promotional vignettes, El Nino, How Can I Live music video, theatrical trailers, and TV spots. What I don't see here on the back, unless it was called something else, I don't see the feature that would have been on Camp Crystal Lake Memories. I don't see that on there, because obviously they would have gone with a name. I don't see any chapter name. It just says, obviously, gallery featuring the film's development, deleted alternate scenes, but it doesn't say anything else of any mention that it has the featurette that would have been inside the Camp Crystal Lake Memories. Maybe they actually will be part of the bonus material. Anyways, let's open this up. Check out the alternate artwork inside. And again, it's just like the promotional artwork. The spine's, I don't know, the spine does look a little bit better, notably on this side, but I still like the idea of actually having a name on there. A bit of a missed opportunity, I feel, that they didn't have that real great image of Freddy's glove holding Jason's mask. So again, I feel like this may be a case, or you know what? They didn't also release, where is my, I don't know where I put it. I think I have it here somewhere. Hold on one second. Hold on. Just going back and grabbing my DVD. I'm surprised, actually, that they didn't use this cover at all. In this case, they didn't use either one of these. They went with this one, which is just the sides of their faces. And they went with this one. It's surprising that they didn't use it for this. They ended up ultimately using the same artwork for the actual Blu-ray inside. Just strange that they didn't actually use that artwork. Anyways, we'll put that down. Let's slide this back into its place. And I feel, again, not sure which route I'd like to go. Honestly, I kind of like the font on this, but I'm not really crazy. You know what? I'll just use this because I like the spine. For the number of times I'm going to be pulling out that movie and watching it, at the very least, I feel a better looking spine on the outside. Is that a big thing for anybody? Does anybody really even care? Do you really care if the option is available to flip those around? Anyways, there is no scratching, no fingerprints. I know I sound like a broken record. Put that disc back in place. Yes, certainly a much longer video, but I did definitely want to thoroughly go through this box set. I didn't want to just open up and say, oh, wow, this is so cool. I love this. Friday the 13th fans will absolutely enjoy this. Thanks for watching, guys. Now, I did want to spend a little bit more time talking about it. We've got Welcome to Crystal Lake from the producers of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, the remake. Not a big fan of the remake, just throwing that out there. I like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake a little bit more than the Friday the 13th remake. You guys can fight me out down below in the comment section if you want. But this one, again, has both the original theatrical version and the extended unrated cut. And the interesting thing about the unrated cut is it includes an extra scene. One of the things that stands out for me is the extra scene where the sister is contained underground. There's actually, I think, a scene, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, where I think she's underground. She escapes. Jason takes her when she's getting to the cabin, and then he takes her and puts her back underground. And that whole scene, I think, is cut out. So she only escapes, I believe, once. But there's a scene that doesn't quite line properly, and I'm going to really have to see this movie again to properly have an understanding of what I'm just saying. But there's a specific scene that doesn't quite match because it involves a scene that was cut, which again is her fleeing the underground lair that he has. He grabs her, he takes her back, and I think then she runs away again. I feel the whole sister underground was unnecessary. It also includes the hacking back, slashing forward. I don't really know what that is. I have to check that out. Terror trivia track with picture-in-picture, the 7 best kills, the rebirth of Jason Voorhees in quotation, so that must be the featurette, and slashed scenes. The running time for theatrical is 97 minutes. The extended cut runs 106 minutes, just in case you're curious. Let's open it up and see what the alternative is. Now, here is one of the posters that would have been advertising the original Friday the 13th film. This is what the other one is. And again, you'll see that the spines do change. One thing obviously that looked like Scream Factory was trying to do, was trying to keep the fonts the same so all the movies look consistent. Now, obviously, I'm not doing that at all. I'm changing things up. So again, I think prefer to use the original movie font. If you want to keep it the other way, you can certainly keep it the other way. But I'm going to slide this back in, just like so. Close it up and quickly check the disc. Now, I don't think the disc changes at all. I just happen to have just down here. Just going to open this up quickly. This is the killer cut. And even like that is a nice looking cover as well. I feel, looking at the two, it does almost look like, everything looks the same. A little bit darker on this one than on this one right here, but it doesn't look like much of anything else does change. So put that right down there. And we'll close this one up. And then last but certainly not least, as we've already had a look extensively and talked a little bit about each of the individual films, then of course we can have a look at all the bonus features that come included with this box set as well. One other thing you can certainly invest in, we'll just slide this over and bring over the Camp Crystal Lake. Obviously, this for me is the definitive thing you want to be checking out for Friday the 13th, but I'm a bit of a horror connoisseur. I like to collect anything and everything that when it comes to these slasher killers. Another thing for viewing you can also check out is His Name is Jason. Now, this one is okay. I really thought I was going to be going into it with the expectation that it was going to be a very thorough, in-depth featurette. And it's not really. It does have disappointing aspects to it. We'll just take that little bit of adhesive that I pulled off from the other disc. This one actually is hosted by Tom Savini, who of course did all the special effects, many of the special effects in the early Friday the 13th, notably the first Friday the 13th. But the thing that bothers me about this one is while it does have extended interviews, dragged from the lake, and all the other fun stories, the man behind the mask, basically what it is Tom Savini will talk about Jason's kills, and then it will talk and proceed to show clips from the various movies. It's fine sort of like as a summarized featurette that covers off all the things that has happened in the Friday the 13th films. But what I do like about the Camp Crystal Lake Memories is that it goes by chapter. Chapter 1 is Friday the 13th Part 1 and covers everything from Friday the 13th Part 1. Chapter 2, the exact same thing. Chapter 3 for Friday the 13th 3D. So this one doesn't really necessarily have that. That's sort of just more of a fun watch through. If you just like Jason Voorhees, it has some cool stuff in there. Okay, so let's have a look at the Friday the 13th collection bonus material. This would be the thing that came included with it. What we get in here is new interview with composer Harry Manfredini, new location featurette, Return to Crystal Lake, the making of Friday the 13th, the Friday the 13th Chronicles, which I think it's in this one. It may even be in that one. Secrets Galore, Behind the Gore, documentary Slice and Dice, the slasher film forever, documentary Scream Queens, Horror Heroines Exposed, which I believe are all new featurettes. Crystal Lake Victims Tell All, I think was on Crystal Lake Memories. Let's just have a look at the back here. This one does not say, or maybe it might even have been on this one. No, this one doesn't have it either as well. I know that sounds familiar, like I've seen it on one of the other disc releases. This one also has Tales from the Cutting Room Floor that have some really great, I've seen some online, things that have been cut from the film, they put back into this disc so you can see those. Friday Artifacts and Collectibles, and finally Jason Forever. So that's not bad. That's not bad. I don't think it's still going to replace Crystal Lake Memories, because for me, I like the idea of being able to have everything together, all in one set, where I can put it in. Several hours in, I'm still watching it, because I think this one here, just double checking the runtime here, it is quite long. It's 400 minutes, so you're going to be there for a while. But again, it covers everything and anything and everything you'd really want to know about Friday the 13th. And last but certainly not least, we also have ourselves a little booklet. It has the same artwork that's depicted on the top here. And let's just see what it quickly is. Just a little breakdown read-up. I wonder if these are actually excerpts from the Crystal Lake Memories hardcover book. It does seem like. Let's just put this down for 1 second. Let me just go back and grab that tin. Yeah, I just wanted to take the booklet that came with the new Scream Factory release and compare it to the Crystal Lake Memories and just see if there's a lot of similar pages inside. Through the quick look-through that I've done on this book and then checking out the Crystal Lake Memories, does seem like there is different things that are noted. Like this one does have a lot more pictures, it seems. Although, to be fair, this one does have a lot of pictures also as well. But I don't think that this one obviously is a lot more involved. The one that came included with the tin is more like little smaller read-ups with a lot more photos, it seems. So again, it doesn't look like they just used the same information they did for this particular release. But this does have some meaty material that you can read through, skim through. Has some photos there as well. These all look like they're screen photos, as opposed to behind-the-scenes photos. There again is Jason X. Somebody had actually told me that Jason X, he's not actually wearing a shirt and pants. What the plan was he was going to be wearing an all-single suit, like a pair of coveralls, like Michael Myers. And I think Kane Hodder had expressed concern that he didn't want to wear coveralls because he didn't want to look like Michael Myers. So I think they literally just I think this is all still a coverall. They literally just put loops in this area and they belt this off. So in actual fact, I think he's wearing one single piece suit. And then they just sort of divide the middle off with a belt. Fancy that. Still love the design of Jason X. Or Jason Goes to Hell. There's Jason X. Speaking of, my least favorite designed Jason. That one right there. And of course, there is the Freddy vs. Jason. Could have been a lot better. Freddy vs. Jason. Oh, and then one last thing we could certainly do, as I've checked all the discs on all the other releases. I didn't check the disc on this one, as there are two of them. And just double checking the inside. The very end scene, just before young Jason splashes up from the waters of Camp Crystal Lake. Again, I'm probably not going to be flipping that around anytime soon. We got disc 1. Let's quickly check that, and I'll send you guys on your way. There's disc 1, seems okay. And there is disc 2. Also seems okay. I know I've thoroughly gone through and looked at all the movies and looked at all the cases and DVDs for this release, but I certainly did want to also reassure you guys. This unboxing could have easily gone both ways. Either it could have been, which it did end up turning out to be, a successful unboxing, where all the individual discs are all scratch-free, or all fingerprint-free, and it doesn't look like anything is really damaged to the discs. Some of the other things that I have said or have seen online is people are talking about, like, the insert papers all looked like that they had gotten wet or really severely wrinkled. I mean, obviously, as you guys have seen with each one of these being opened up, flipped around and shown the front and back side, none of the discs seem to be damaged at all. None of the paper inserts also appear to be damaged at all. So again, this was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to wait and do the unboxing on camera. Bit of a longer video than probably what I was expecting to do, but I did, again, really want to reassure you guys. Either it would have been a case where I would have showed you guys, like, you have nothing to worry about if you are interested in picking up this set for yourself. Everything that I have doesn't look like it's been damaged. Or, being that I hadn't opened this one up yet, waiting to do it on camera, it could have easily gone the opposite way in tragic results, where I would have opened up each one of the discs and all of them be severely scratched, severely fingerprinted, and having real noticeable damage. Again, the real test will be to play each one of these. And again, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you guys can do that way. And as I'm playing these, if I have any issues with any one of the discs, I'll let you guys know. Good thing is that Scream Factory have already posted that if you guys have any issues with your discs, whether it be scratches, whether it be fingerprints, or whether it be playing issues with any one of these, you can contact their customer support and they'll replace your discs. So there's no issues, I think, and anything really preventing you guys from picking up this set. Certainly, if you're a Friday the 13th fan and a Jason Voorhees fan, this is definitely going to be a set you'll want to pick up. Will you still want to replace the ones that had come out before that? I don't think so. I'm still going to keep those. Because again, there's things on there that probably aren't on these discs until I, again, look from one to the other to the other. And I don't think in any time will I be getting rid of this. This, again, is the definitive go-to featurette if you really like Friday the 13th. But have you guys picked up this set for yourself? Let me know down below in the comments section what you guys think of it. If you've had any issues with any one of the discs, the cover inserts, anything, let me know down below in the comments section your feedback when it comes to the new Scream Factory Friday the 13th Collection Deluxe Edition. Still can't believe that I never did the checkouts. One thing you should always do, if you're going to be doing any internet shopping, make sure you finish a checkout before you leave your desk and go somewhere else. I suspect I probably had it in my shopping cart just before I went to do the checkout. I'm sure somebody came over to talk to me. I was distracted. I got up and I did something else, and I never checked it out. The only thing I'm really missing, I think, is there was one thing I was missing. It was like a Camp Crystal Lake sign or something. And the other thing was a poster, which is essentially just this artwork that you're seeing on the box set. And again, it's nice looking artwork, but I don't really have a place to put it anywhere in my house. So even though I don't think I missed my chance. I could probably still pick it up from Scream Factory. I'm not disappointed the fact I never did get that. I just ultimately picked this one up on Amazon. There is available quantities still available on Amazon, and I think Scream Factory still has this set available as well. They're probably still producing these. So if you guys are interested in picking up this set for yourself, like I said, it should be easily available. Just know, though, like with all the other sets that do come out, if you do miss your chance to get them, even like that tin case of the Friday the 13th set, that case got really expensive because it went out of distribution. It went out of circulation. Scream Factory only runs with these for a certain period of time, and then they do get out of circulation, like the movie Dolls, which I happen to have still in my collection, is a very expensive Blu-ray because, again, they stop producing them. Either way, though, anyway, you slice it. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of this set release. Sorry, my apologies for the lengthy video, but if you guys are new to this channel, liking the content you're seeing, consider the idea of hitting that subscribe button down below, and of course, moving on over to that bell notification. Definitely going to be a lot of videos coming your way, so as always, keep your peepers peeled, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.